Hi everybody, this is Dwayne with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina. It is Sunday, November the 3rd. I've just boated all the way up here to the dam and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm going to do the one cast up here. I've got some shad flies on drift rigs or Carolina rigs. These have been working real well up here lately. It's got a little snap swivel on there. It slides up and down the line. And then a barrel swivel stops it from coming all the way down the fly. I've got that fly about 30 inches from the barrel swivel. And it should drag along the bottom pretty nice. I'm just going to keep the boat pointed forward here. We're going to start drifting with the current. I'm right on the seam of the cold water over there and warm water right here. I'm going to try and get out there in that just a little bit more. I'll turn my trolling motor on first. There we go. Now we're moving. You got to get drifting with the current and you just cast back up there towards the dam and drag that thing down on the bottom. I'll turn this boat just a little bit. Already dragging bottom a little bit because we're not really moving too fast over here in this seam line. Blake is up here fishing. He's dragging crankbaits and doing pretty well. As I boated up, he had a fish on and he sent me a picture of a brown trout that he had caught earlier. Now my fly was just stuck on the bottom. It felt like the rock rolled over, but sometimes that breaks that fly off or breaks the hook off, so I always like to bring it in and check it. And everything is good, but nothing officially on the one cast. So we're going to get it back out there and try again. I'm already dragging bottom, so my weight might be just a little bit heavy because it's hitting bottom so quick right through there that I could probably get away with lightening that weight up, put a smaller weight on there. Now you can see my rod tip. Maybe you can see it. I'll try and move over here where you can see a little bit better. Every time it hits bottom, that tip just kind of ticks, tick, tick, tick. There's a lot of chunk rock in this area right here. And then we're going to kind of come up onto a flat. The flat's between outlet 1 and outlet 2. And there's bottom again. It felt like it might have broke the fly off that time. I did bring 2 more rods already pre-rigged. If that did come off of there. No, still got the fly, but we'll check the hook. And it did break the hook off. So we'll switch over to another rod. Same rig. But I've got one with just a little bit lighter weight that I'm going to use. That one there had a 1/4 ounce weight on it, and this one has a 3/16. So I shouldn't dig bottom quite as hard. I'm going to move out here so we go around the outside of that island. That should be a pretty good position right about there. We'll get facing back upstream and get that out there again. Did have a trip this morning. It was a trip more about learning different techniques to fish below Fall Creek. And we tried throwing the jerk baits a little bit up there. We did get 3 bites on the jerk bait and 1 hookup. Did not land the fish, but it was a pretty good one in a, I'm going to guess 4 to 5 pound range. We did get to see it. And then we tried dragging the crankbaits down there. You can drag those crankbaits from Fall Creek down to about Short Creek. And we caught a few doing that. And then we switched over to dragging shad flies and scuds on the shallow side from Fall Creek down to Short Creek and caught quite a few fish doing that. So there are other ways to fish below Fall Creek. down on the bottom other than dragging a night crawl or a power bait. And that's for a guy that fishes some of the winter tournaments around here in the wintertime where they don't allow, or it's artificial lures only tournaments. It was kind of fun. It was quite chilly out this morning. Temperatures were about 28 degrees when we started. A lot of heavy frost on everything. But then it warmed up quite nicely once the sun came up. And it's about 60 degrees right now. The only reason I've got a jacket on was for the boat ride up, but I'm just sitting here with no wind. It's rather warm in the sun with a jacket on. I went to that lighter weight and I'm not really touching the bottom very much at all now. So sometimes you can open that bail out and a little more line out there. I just felt there's a bottom tick, so I did get on the bottom by doing that, but just off the bottom again. We're getting ready to drag across what we call the rebar hole. We got maybe another 2 days of nice weather like this, and then it's supposed to start raining again, a chance of rain on Wednesday. Little bit more line out. There's bottom again. We're not many boats out this morning, but there's quite a few on the water. I think I passed 7 or 8 boats on the way up here from the resort on up. And quite a few boats in the trophy area from like Andy's house down to the Narrows. There was probably 5 boats in that area. I imagine those guys are dragging scuds down through there. That's been a real good area to drag scuds and catch quite a few fish. Just tapping that trolling motor just a little bit, and I'm getting on bottom pretty good right now. Felt like a little bit of moss on there. Whenever I'm dragging stuff up here, I like to bring it in every 3 or 4 minutes and check for moss. I'm about due to do that. Bring it in and check it real quick. We're getting ready to drop off into the big hole. It's a little deeper and slower water. And everything looks good. Get it back out there. Trying to keep you guys pointed out of the sun just a little bit, because it is pretty bright right now. he's probably 200 yards downstream, fishing the shallow side, basically across from the boat ramp. There's a big tree going out in the water. He's pulling up right behind that tree and dragging stuff down through there. Phil is back from Alaska. He got back last night and said he had a pretty good trip up there. Telling me about he caught some really nice rainbows. That's pretty late season to be up there fishing. He's texting me right now, asking me if I've left to do the one cast. And I'm sure he'll probably do the one cast tomorrow and give you guys an update on how his trip was. Maybe he'll post some pictures on it. We might try and tuck just inside this shade line. We're coming around the bend and there's a little bit of shade right here behind us. So I'm going to back the boat up and see if we can't fish inside some of that shade, because I don't think I've had a bite yet. And I'm going to cast it right over there. There's a nice bubble line over there. Next to that tree there. That's the tree I was talking about, Blake pulling up, and there's a fish right on the end of it. Taking a little bit of drag. It's always fun. He's really running. I'm watching that line. It's just going right across the lake there. Coming back here behind the boat. There he is. I think he's about ready to cry, Uncle. I'll turn this camera just a little bit this way. And we found one. Probably 14, 15 inches long. Nice fish. And there he's off. So it's not an official one cast catch, but it is a catch. Right across from the boat ramp, coming up on a little island down here and then into Trophy Run. And I probably will drag down to about Trophy Run and head back to the resort. Pretty good bottom tug there. I thought it was a fish. was watching my remote. Tells me how fast I'm drifting in the water. And I was watching that, and I was hitting almost 4 miles an hour. This current is moving in some of these areas up here. It's moving along pretty good. A lot of people are intimidated about it, but if you stay in the middle, you're really pretty safe. And as you've seen, I'm always checking back behind me and making sure what I'm coming up on. And if you do that, you can be pretty safe up here and catch a lot of fish. It's worth it to come up here and give it a try. Just stay in the middle and watch where you're drifting all the time. There's another one. It's not hot and heavy and on fire, but catching fish.